I think for me, the favorite memory that I have of our time in this program is really our time together as a community, whether it's during lunch breaks or after class, but just spending a lot of time with the people and building relationships with one another is probably my favorite.
Very skeptical of online community, online courses. I prejudged it, but I went ahead because of George Fox's reputation, and man, really found I wouldn't do it any other way.
When I think about memories here at George Fox, there's no doubt that my favorite memory is experiencing community in just a very real and profound way. It's something that really surprised me, and yet has been such a blessing to my life.
The Labyrinth was a wonderful place for me to be, and walking in that, sitting in the sunshine, contemplating life and being close to God, amazing.
In the fall of our second year, on a Tuesday night, we all went out, a bunch of guys went out for dinner, and I called my wife, and she told me we were going to have a baby. And that may be the best moment of my entire time here.
I think a highlight for me came during face-to-face in Dr. Delmar's class. Just some of the profound thoughts that he had about creation theology and just what we learned throughout his Old Testament study.
You have every cohort has sort of their own personality and their way of coming at things, and you guys have had this really intense engagement, so sometimes we all have called ourselves back from being a little too intense about things, but mostly it's just been this passion to be engaged with the stuff, to take our relationships past casual, to take our conversations past shallow, and to really get it. Well, that's a good line. That actually works pretty good. But so it's been really fun being engaged with this group of people. You just so inspired us because of what you brought to the experience.
Favorite memory was when Josh told Adam he didn't care about the poor in Delamar's class.
The MAP test, and Hopkins drew the phallic little protrusion into the Mediterranean by Mount Carmel.
I love you, you cohort.
One of my memories of this cohort is walking into Faith's house and thinking, I've got to show my wife this house.
Doug in the Fitzy pajamas.
Well, driving the church van down and everyone piling in and going to lunch or whatever and having fun, and then driving up on the curb in front of the George Fox building is probably a good memory.
I think my favorite time was with Dr. Bruner and the paradox between the bow tie and the slippers, combined with the English tea tie.
But the tea was my idea.
I think the one that immediately comes to mind is with Dr. Bruner and the wide array of bow ties and vests and argyle socks that he actually wore to class. I kept thinking we would see repeats, but there were no repetitions.
My first memory is that I've never seen a class arrive on time, like 15 minutes earlier than anything's supposed to begin, ready to go. I remember how much everyone cared for one another. I remember the birthdays. I remember John missed a day because of something like with his daughter or something, and everyone prayed for him and welcomed him when he came back.
One moment that was particularly profound, it was probably Dr. Bruner's candid conversations with us about his wife and just being able to be a part of that.
I would say my favorite memory is just everybody in the cohort and the people that we've been associated with at Fox, Mary Kate, Darla, and all the professors, so that's my favorite memory.
So the memory that you guys compared to the other cohorts, we always talk about this when we're planning for our thresholds, is that during the scavenger hunt, when you guys first came, it was like planned for an hour and a half amount of time, and you guys were so competitive, running around the building, and looking for each other and sneaking around and doing that. It was really fun, full of energy, but it was really competitive. So Laura was saying it took like 45 minutes, and it was supposed to be an hour and a half.
Memory comes from our first semester when we were with Jason Clark and Faith,
McLeod and Jessica and myself all went over to whatever mall this is over here, and we got to, during class time, walk around and find religious imagery that is being used in everyday marketing to go ahead and sell the idea that when you are purchasing something, there's something heavenly or angelic or godlike about it that will make you feel better, to tie in with the commodification theme that was going through that class at the time.
My favorite moment of the whole program was in the first semester, and we were in this class with one of the professors, and he offered to the class the option of going to this mall, and only 3 people went, and the rest of us stayed, and we learned a lot, while some others of us, 3, went and played.
During one of our debriefing times with Mary Kate, she sat on the table and she just kind of looked at all of us and goes, you know, I've never met a group of individuals that was so anal retentive about learning. And I remember just being so proud.
Quasimodo.
Hello.